In the pitch-black vacuum above Earth's atmosphere, beyond the glint of satellites and the silence of zero gravity, an invisible arms race is accelerating. This isn't the stuff of sci-fi fantasy anymore. It's real, strategic, and deadly serious. While most eyes are fixed on battles in Ukraine, tensions in the South China Sea, or the rise of AI in modern warfare, a quieter but no less consequential conflict is unfolding in orbit. The United States and China are locked in a technological tug-of-war in space, fighting not with bullets or bombs, but with jamming systems, satellite lasers, robotic arms, and kinetic kill vehicles. The stakes? Global dominance of the high ground, control of satellite networks that guide nuclear missiles, suppression of communications, surveillance supremacy, and perhaps, one day, the power to destroy enemy infrastructure before a war even begins. But this is a silent war in space, and it's far more dangerous than you've been told. Before we launch into the stratosphere of secrets and strategy, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss more deep dive investigations into the battles shaping our world from the ground to the stars. Why space is now the ultimate strategic domain. Space used to be the domain of science fiction and Cold War bragging rights. First satellite, first man on the moon. But today, it's the digital backbone of every military operation. Satellites aren't just beaming TV signals anymore. They're directing drones, targeting missiles, managing secure communications, tracking ships, and syncing time-sensitive financial networks. Whoever controls orbit, controls Earth. Both China and the United States recognize this, and both are racing to secure dominance in this final frontier. It's no longer enough to just launch rockets. Nations must now defend, disrupt, and even destroy in space. Unlike conventional warfare, where the impact is immediate and visible, space conflict is subtle. A blip on a radar, a loss of signal, a satellite tumbling unexpectedly, and sometimes a shadow object following another silently across the void. Space has become the new chessboard, and the US and China are moving their pieces fast. China's rise, from catch-up to contender. For years, China lagged behind the United States in space technology, but in the last decade, it has surged forward with breathtaking speed. Its space agency has landed rovers on the Moon and Mars, constructed the Tiangong space station, and developed anti-satellite ASAT, weapons that have stunned Western observers. Beijing's ambitions in space are driven by two goals: national prestige and military power. Under President Xi Jinping, space has been declared a core component of China's rejuvenation and defense modernization. The Chinese military has invested heavily in satellite systems that support its naval and missile operations, and more ominously, in weapons designed to disable or destroy enemy satellites. China's 2007 anti-satellite test, where it used a missile to obliterate one of its own weather satellites, was a loud warning shot. The debris cloud it created alarmed scientists and militaries worldwide. But that test was just the beginning. Today, China is believed to have developed co-orbital weapons, small satellites equipped with robotic arms or explosives that can quietly approach and incapacitate other satellites. It's also fielding jamming systems, high-powered lasers, and direct descent missiles capable of targeting satellites in low Earth orbit. What makes it more chilling is the dual-use nature of these technologies. A robotic arm meant for refueling missions could also rip solar panels off surveillance satellite. A space-based laser used for communication could be turned into a blinding weapon. Beijing's capabilities are growing, and many of them are shrouded in secrecy. The U.S. space superiority doctrine. If China is advancing, the United States is not sitting idle. For decades, the U.S. has been the undisputed king of space. Its global positioning system, GPS, vast fleet of reconnaissance satellites, and deep partnerships with NASA and the private sector have made it the most space-dependent military on Earth. But this dependence is also a vulnerability. In recent years, U.S. military leaders have sounded the alarm. Space is no longer a sanctuary. It's a war-fighting domain, and America must be ready to fight and win there. In 2019, the United States created the U.S. Space Force, a new military branch focused entirely on space operations. Its mission is clear: protect American interests in orbit, defend critical assets, and deter adversaries from launching attacks in space. To do this, the Pentagon is investing in space-based surveillance, satellite resiliency, counter-space operations, and rapid satellite deployment capabilities. Projects like X-37B, a secretive spaceplane capable of long-duration missions, hint at advanced operational readiness. U.S. defense firms are also working on satellite swarms, hypersonic interceptors, and next-gen missile detection systems. Unlike China, much of America's space muscle is augmented by its private sector. Companies like SpaceX, Blue Origin, and Northrop Grumman are revolutionizing launch costs, satellite miniaturization, and rapid deployment, all of which give the U.S. a strategic edge. But the key difference? America is preparing for a space war it hopes never to fight, while China is preparing for a war it may use to win without fighting, by taking out critical systems before a single bullet is fired. The shadow weapons of the orbital battlefield. Unlike traditional warfare, space doesn't scream when it's attacked. You won't see fireballs or hear gunfire. You might not even realize there's been an attack until your GPS fails, your drones lose contact, or your missile defense system can't find its target. China and the U.S. are both believed to have developed and tested non-kinetic space weapons, systems designed to blind, jam, or disable satellites without creating debris. These include directed energy weapons like ground-based lasers that can blind or fry satellite sensors, microwave weapons that can disrupt satellite electronics, cyber weapons capable of hacking into satellite control systems, spoofing systems that can mislead enemy satellites into believing they are seeing or tracking something else entirely. But the most feared tools are co-orbital interceptors, tiny satellites that latch onto or tailgate enemy satellites, lying dormant until activated. These space stalkers can silently sabotage key assets, and because they leave little trace, attribution becomes nearly impossible. Both nations deny the deployment of such weapons, but evidence and leaked reports suggest they are real and already orbiting. Final orbit, the war we can't afford to fight. The silent war in space is real. It's not a matter of science fiction or political posturing. It's a rapidly escalating race for dominance in the most unforgiving and consequential theater of conflict humanity has ever known. The United States and China are not preparing for war in space. They are already conducting one through strategy, surveillance, and shadow weapons. Every satellite launch, every military space test, every cyber intrusion could be a move in a game few civilians even realize is being played. And the next great conflict may not start with a bang, but with a blink on a satellite screen. Well, if you found this expose revealing and critical, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a report from the future's frontline. Drop a comment below. Should space be militarized, or should we push for global demilitarization before it's too late? Thank you for watching. Keep looking up. What you don't see might already be watching you.